I really want to tell people I've been using this every single day. I have been dreaming of this moment for way too long. This eyeshadow palette is literally my baby. It was so important for me to release this one first. This is called the Bronze palette. I love bronze colors and browns. These are colors that I use. Well, I use this palette every day. I've been using this palette every day for the past 5 or 6 months. Every Snapchat video, every Instagram you've seen me in, it's been this palette. It's been so hard to keep this a secret. All of the makeup artists that work with me know that I'm very specific about the color browns that go in my eye, and I really feel like I perfected it in this palette. This formula is very long wearing and they blend so effortlessly. I use bronzite for my lash line and I blend it in my lash line. I use obsidian to do my eyeshadow liner. If I'm going out, I'll incorporate quartz and goldstone, and I love to put jasper under my brow bone and sometimes as a base. The color orange was very important for me to put in my palette. I feel like orange really makes the colors pop. I made this the perfect palette for me and hopefully you guys too. I just love them and I can't wait for you guys to try. I am so excited to bring Ariel in today to show you guys how to use every single color in my eyeshadow palette to create this look.
So using jasper, I'm gonna go ahead and take it on a flat shader brush and place it at the brow bone. Just for a soft highlight. Make sure it's really well buffed. I really love these shadows. Like they fall on really nicely onto the skin. There's no actual fallout from the eyeshadow, so you have a smooth application without a mess. Super pigmented. I'm really in love with them. So we've used jasper as a base. I'm gonna go in and further highlight her brow bone using quartz. This is a really soft, like champagne-y shimmery color. It'll just help to pop the brow bone and accentuate right underneath her brows. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the same color quartz at the tear duct of the eye to open and separate the eyes. You wanna bring this up towards the lash line at the very inner corner. Now using topaz, I'm gonna go ahead and lightly take a blending brush through her crease and buff the color to start creating the hollow of her eye at the crease line. This will serve you as your transition shade. Another great thing about Kylie's eyeshadows is that they're very buildable. So you can go from applying it very sheerly to going in and having great depth with the color. Right now I'm just using this as a base to make the other shadow stand out. This is just creating a halo of color around her eye. So I'm gonna go ahead with a smaller blending brush and pick up the color Tiger's Eye and apply this right at the lash line. And you're just gonna follow that through the crease line and bring it down towards the lash line. Make sure it's really evenly blended. You're just softly cutting the crease to create more shape and definition to the eye. Gonna use that same fluffy brush I used and make sure it's really evenly blended. I'm gonna further intensify the crease color, applying hematite. I really like this color because of the amount of redness the color contains. I feel like it brings even that much more warmth to the eye. Now I'm gonna go ahead and keep the intensity more towards the outer V of the eye as we wanna accentuate more of like an almond shape. So Kylie's a really big fan of orange and she created this color called citrine. I'm gonna go ahead and blend over the top of everything I've done just to bring back more of that orangey tone to her eye and make her green in her eye pop out again. And I will be taking the color bronzite and rimming that closer to her lash line just to further intensify the almond shape that we're creating with her eye. Make sure you create a very thin line, not going past the center of the eye, and getting thicker as you go out. We're gonna blend out this line. This is simply gonna create a lifted eye shape and give her like a more catty winged eye without it necessarily being a wing. Working with Kylie, I've realized like she's really specific about the browns we use, or like the warm for the tone of the color, and like I really think she mastered and perfected that with this palette she created.
Thanks, Ariel.
Using Obsidian, I'm gonna go ahead and further darken her lash line. Lastly, I'm gonna use the color Quartz and Goldstone mixed together on her lid. Simply another great use you can get out of the products is mixing the eyeshadows together to create a custom blended color. Just gonna buff through the eyes, make sure there's no lines. So now we just finished Kylie's skin. We're gonna move on to the under eye and finish up the eyeshadow application. We're gonna use hematite and rim that right along the outer edge of her eye. Use the very end of the brush to connect the edge of the lash shadow application we did to the bottom application. Try to keep this color concentrated to the lash line as close and tight as possible as you can. Now taking a clean smudging brush, softly blend through the color to ensure no lines and a perfect blend. Now using citrine to blend through the color that we've previously applied, I'm gonna take a small fluffy blending brush and rim that through the lower lash line. This will just create a warm halo of light around her eye. Some people would be really afraid to use the color orange to kind of blend through their lower lash line. I just think it adds like a little bit of warmth and pops out the eye color. I'm gonna go ahead and apply Tiger's Eye using the same fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna focus this color more towards the outer corner of her eye. And this will also help to just intensify the outer V and make her eye look that much more almond. Just go back and take Quartz and re-emphasize a highlight at the tear duct of the eye to make sure you open and separate the eyes to give a more awakened look. Something else that's really fun is applying Kylie True Brown K in the waterline as an eyeliner. It's really warm and rich, and it'll be just enough to bring out her eye color and bring a little bit more depth to the waterline.
This is my first eyeshadow palette. I made 2 more fun eyeshadow palettes that you're gonna see before next year, so stay tuned for those. And I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on this and try it out.